This is artificial writing ink, the old-fashioned kind you dip a quill into back in the old days. And this is the all-natural substance that is often produced from cephalopods such as squid, octopi, or cuttlefish, also known as ink. What's the difference between octopus ink and pen ink? The ink of an octopus, or any cephalopod, is composed of highly concentrated melanin. This is the same dark pigment that we humans have, and which is responsible for skin color and the color of dark hair. It is a natural dye that cephalopods manufacture in an ink sac. Most, but not all octopi have an ink sac and produce ink, but a few, such as the deep-sea octopus, have lost this ability. The ink that we use in fountain pens or ballpoint pens today bear little resemblance to octopus ink. In its simplest form, the ink we write with is a pigment or dye and a binder. The first ink for writing and drawing was invented simultaneously in China and Egypt around 2500 BC. The first ink was made of lampblack, or soot, mixed with aqueous binders. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. In the Middle Ages and up through the 19th century, ink was made from such ingredients as gum arabic, copperas, gal apples, and water. Occasionally soot was used for making the ink black, or minerals and other pigments can be used for the color. In this century, ink has become more sophisticated. It is now usually made of synthetic dyes and compounds. Ink today may combine tannic, gallic, and dilute hydrochloric acid with an iron salt, phenol, and a blue or black dye. This composition may optionally include a drying agent, an adhesive promoter, a color developer, and or a preservative. Some inks are made thicker, such as printing ink. Two very different liquids, both called ink. What happens if we mix them together? Let's find out. Now, one of the biggest differences between pen ink and squid ink is that, as you can tell, pen ink is actually very runny and liquidy like water, while on the other hand, squid ink is actually very dense and has a lot of viscosity. Hold on a sec. Oh, what kind of reaction is it causing? Might need to do another take.
"11 minutes later."
Okay, so after leaving it alone for roughly 10 minutes, more or less, and then adding just a little bit more in, what kind of reaction did it cause? Well, as you can see, the mixture has appeared to have risen higher than the amount put in, and if you look very closely, you'll notice that it was actually starting to occasionally bubble every once in a while. This is very similar to the reaction of what happens when you put Mentos inside a soft drink. Only this process is much slower than Mentos and soda, but has a very similar reaction from what it seems. Now, apparently, if it moves, it bubbles more. I'm not sure if you could see it, though. I know, it's really hard to tell unless you look really close, like almost microscope close. You get the point, right? So, now that we know what kind of reaction it causes, well, I guess that's it. So, now we know what kind of reaction it causes when the two mix together. Will it run differently down the sink? Well, it seemed to make the squid ink runnier. I think. It's very hard to tell. Let's see what happens when we add water to the mixture. Well, I guess that's it. Now we know what happens when you mix pen ink with squid ink and water. For science.